Good morning. Why do I have this? So, when I hold this trekking pole in my hand, I am reminded of the countless steps that I've taken in the Himalayas. When I hold this surgical instrument in my hand, I realize that this is actually a beacon of hope and healing for the countless number of patients whom I have treated. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Vinita Puri. I'm a plastic surgeon and I've had the privilege of practicing medicine for the last over 3 decades. In these 3 decades, I have also trekked the mighty Himalayas and I have seen the heights of compassion and resilience in my journey as a medical volunteer. Today, I want to take you down this path of passion and purpose, that of trekking the Himalayas and my journey as a medical volunteer, and see how it has shaped not just my life as a surgeon, but of me as a human being. So when I think trekking, I want to take you back to this photograph. This is Zero Point Pindari Glacier, a soft trek, 2003 October. It was 4th of October, I won't forget the date. It was Dashara Day. I was the first trekker at 8 a.m. to have reached that spot. There was complete silence. And suddenly, the silence was shattered. There is always some Baba who is always there at the most remotest of places. And he had just finished his prayers. I think it was that moment that I felt deeply, passionately in love with the Himalayas, and I never looked back. So when I think about the Himalayas, it is the allure of those mighty peaks. It is that excitement that you get when you reach new heights, the excitement of pushing yourself to the depths and to the absolute extreme of your endurance, and also being there in those places where very few have stepped. This photograph that you see is much later, many treks later. By this time, I was on to really high mountains, and what you see here is us trying to attempt to go up the Bali Pass. Bali Pass is at 5,000 meters. You must know that at these heights, the oxygen levels are very low. We ourselves walk with saturations of barely 80% in us, and we are really putting in a lot of effort. At a time like this, we were supposed to go from the lower base camp to the upper base camp, stay there, and then attempt the pass. But our guide and our leader said that we have to do this in one day because he was expecting the weather to get worse and he did not want us to get caught in that weather. Notice one thing in the next photographs, in the next few photographs, and you will see that everything looks black and white. Well, nature becomes very simple as you go up. None of the photographs have actually been touched. They are exactly as they are, black and white, and it's only us who are giving some color to them. So there we were, and you can see me by 6 a.m. So we started at 5 a.m. with headlights in the dark, and by the time it was about 6:30, we had to hit this ridge. You see that long, thin ridge behind me? That was 3 kilometers long. You see how thin it is? And we had to walk that for 3 kilometers. And after that, we were going to reach the upper base camp. Our guide had said that if we can reach the base camp by 10 a.m., then he would allow us to go ahead. And that is what it was. By 9:30, we had reached the base camp. Just before that snowfield is where the base camp was, the upper base camp, and we happily went on ahead. I'm saying happily, but you must remember that when you're walking in the snow, you actually pick up your leg, it goes down, sometimes it goes all the way till the knee, and then you pick it up again, and think of the effort that you're doing. We had already walked over 6 hours, and finally, and this is at 11:30 in the morning, having started at 5 a.m., I have reached the top of the pass. But reaching the top is not really enough. You also have to come down, and that is often tougher than going up. Here we are coming down. Can you see that video? And you see that you're coming down rubble. The video is now going to move, right? It's going to move a bit. You're going to see the edge of that mountain. One slip, and we are going to go down where you're going to have nothing, and you're not going to be found. It turned out that we walked 12 hours, and it was only 5 p.m. by the time we reached our camp. And the guide was right. The weather did take a turn for the worse, and this is us at 6 a.m., and our camp was down in snow. So one of the disciplines that we essentially follow is follow the guide, don't think too much, because at situations like this, these are what save you. Don't use your mind too much, just be prepared for whatever is to come. Another trek, this is last year, October. This is called Sahasratal. Many of you, maybe those who are interested in trekking may have read that 9 trekkers lost their life at this very spot. This is again 10:30 in the morning. We had started at 5 a.m. This is the day we had to reach the Tal, and we had a very long way to go. The red line that you see is where we yet had to go, and this is from the top of a pass. Our guide here had told us that we have to essentially reach by 1:30 in the afternoon, and if we don't reach, then we have to turn around, come what may, because the weather always goes bad in the afternoons. So, other than one trekker who had to turn back, most of us managed, and that is me, just before reaching the pass. You see the surroundings again, they're very tough. Trekking in October is a bit tougher because it is actually the start of winter, and the winter has not yet started. The snow is not there. And all those rocks are bare, and you have to go over rocks. Sometimes you feel it's easier to climb in May or June when there is good snow. So it may be summer for us, but it continues to be snow there. On the way back, this was the weather, the same thing which was so sunny in the morning, this is how it was. And here you see us at 6 p.m., we are yet very high, we yet have to go past the pass, and you can see that we are above the clouds. These were the kind of paths that we had to go in the dark, and it was only at 8:30 at night, after 15 hours of walking, that we reached our campsite. So what do you learn from all this? This is another trek, of course. Again, black and white. And somebody would think that I have actually done something to the photograph. I have not. You see this and you see that we are all in color. So what is it? Well, preparation is the key to everything. But just preparing yourself physically is not enough. How much ever you may prepare yourself physically, it is your mental strength that matters at times like this. So you have to essentially make sure that you are ready for it mentally. So what is it that we learned? We learned perseverance, discipline, adaptability, mental fortitude, planning, and teamwork. And I must tell you that I carry all of these with me to my routine life. So let me now talk about my routine life. What is it? Being a plastic surgeon and helping humankind. I think as a doctor, all of you know that we are helping humankind. But I want to talk about my journey as a medical volunteer. So, way back in 1993, I started my journey as a plastic surgeon, and very early I was called upon to give my time to a camp. This was a leprosy camp, and my guide, Dr. Atul Shah, I saw him talking very patiently to the patients, and we offered surgery to a very large number of leprosy patients. This had a great effect on my mind because here we were offering our services voluntarily, not just to the poor, but also to those who are really shunned by society, those who have leprosy, those who have large number of wounds, and we had gone a long way to be able to serve them. This had a great impact on my mind, and for the next 2 decades, I went on to offer my surgical services to a large number of leprosy patients in the interior of Maharashtra, Gujarat, and occasionally also Andhra Pradesh. I have also offered my services to something called the Lifeline Express. What is the Lifeline Express? A few train bogies have been converted into a whole operation theatre complex. These bogies are connected to a train, right? And this train, then it can go to any part of the country. And we know that we have a very large network of railways. So on the Lifeline Express, I have served in many interior parts. I have been to Bolangir, I have been to Jagdalpur, I have been to Bastar district, and a lot of places. Very early in my medical volunteerism, I had a life-changing moment. I was on the Lifeline Express. It was the last day of our camp. I had been operating continuously for 5 days, and literally we used to start at 8 in the morning, and the train staff had to ask us to stop at 7:38 because they had to prepare for the next day. So we had operated a very large number of patients. This was the last day. I'd finished surgery at about 11:30, 12 because we had to leave in the evening. I opened the compartment door, stood in that train, and there I saw a very large number of people waiting on the platform. And they started clamoring and telling me, don't go, don't go. It was such an emotional moment for me. Frankly, I got tears. Even today, I'm touched when I think of that day. And why was it? Because for them, I was like Santa Claus. For me, I thought all I was doing is just using my skills and giving a little bit of my time. But for them, that value was huge. From that day, I never looked back. I think that had a huge impact, and I thought that it was worth giving up, using my skills to help society in general and not just working where I work as a routine. To make such camps possible, actually, a huge amount of teamwork is needed. And whenever such camps come to fruition, a lot of people work for it. It's not just us who are going and giving that, giving our time. You have an NGO, you have the local Samaj. Very often it is the local Samaj or the community who comes up. They help not just with finances, but you will have volunteers. And these are the volunteers who will help with all the logistics. And all of these people work for just one good goal, and that is to help the people all around. Very often it is for the villagers, it could be for the Adivasis all around. But remember, you as a medical volunteer are the keystone. I'm sure all of you understand what a keystone is. So you are the keystone, because if you are not there, then none of all this matters. So it is very important for us to step up beyond our call of duty. Also, when we are there in this journey, we have to remember that we have to do more than what we do in our routine work. Why is that? I go back to mountaineering. Ed Viesturs had said that reaching the top is optional, but coming down is mandatory. Of course, he was talking about coming back safely down, but I'm going to tell the same thing from point of view of our work and taking care of patients. When we are volunteering in a very remote place, we have to make sure that when we operate, we take this patient across very safely to wherever we want them to be. Because remember, they have no access to health care once we are not there. So that is exceedingly important. During my journey in this volunteering, I have stayed in some of the most interesting of accommodation. I have stayed in the homes of villagers because they open up your home for you. Occasionally, I have stayed in circuit houses, most uncomfortably, managing to live with those really huge spiders all over the wall. Occasionally huge lizards which are crawling all over the place. But my take on this is that if your wish is very strong to do what you're going to do, and if you consider discomfort as a norm, then everything just becomes an adventure. You see that tent out there? Well, since it's my passion, I'm willing to stay in a tent, willing to accept the fact that there could be any animal who can come along and there's just that thin wall between us. Not only that, there are rocks beneath us. Sometimes there's such a slope that you feel you're going to get up in the morning with your head out of the tent and looking at the stars. So everything is an adventure if you want to do what you want to, and nothing is a problem. Also, I have had some of the most enriching journeys, I feel. I remember once in a place called Upleta in Gujarat, I was staying with a town family, and they made this special undio. And do you know how they made it? They made it the traditional way. They dug up their garden, they put in a huge pot inside, they had coal in it, and then the vegetables were put inside that. And after 24 hours of simmering, I had the most tasty food, which was also served with a lot of love and affection. I have also visited some of the most remote, hidden, beautiful places in the country. And I have been to Chitrakoot Falls, which are the largest falls of the country in Chhattisgarh. I've also visited the origin of Narmada in a place called Amarkantak. I have gone down to Lonar crater, which is the only saltwater lake, which is because of a meteorite. I have also climbed 10,000 steps up a mountain called Girnar Mountain, because there was one anesthetist who was very religious, and she said, let's go and visit that temple. So there are many places which I've visited. Also, I have also met some of the most interesting people and had some of the most heartwarming stories. I want to share one of these. 55-year-old man, I operated his cleft lip at the age of 55. And he tells me, I will now get married. Can you imagine a surgery which we do at the age of 3 months to 6 months? This man had waited 55 years to get operated. It's not that we don't have plastic surgeons in the country, we have huge numbers, but he could not reach them. Witnessing the impact of all of this on the patients. Witnessing the impact of these kind of reconstructive surgeries has been a very rewarding experience for me. I feel blessed, and I feel that I'm thankful to God that I was born to the parents that I was born. I think we should feel blessed that we had an opportunity to study, to be a doctor, and to be able to go beyond our call of duty and to be able to serve mankind. I go back to the mountains. In the vastness of the Himalayas, in its grandeur and in its simplicity, I found not just my passion for trekking, but also a greater purpose in life. All those paths and those rugged paths that I walked on taught me the importance of discipline, adaptability, preparation, and being ready for everything, and mental strength. And I carried all of these with me to the operation theater and when I was operating on my patients. There's one more thing. When you go up in the Himalayas, you're disconnected. I think this is the biggest gift that you can give yourself. Give that gift to yourself or just disconnecting from everything. 6 days, 7 days, I have no idea what's happening in the world, but my mind has really quieted down. And I can come back to society and give a lot more of myself. In conclusion, I would like to say that balancing your passion with purpose is going to really give you a fulfilling life. As you walk out of this hall in the evening, I urge all of you to find your own mountains to climb. I urge all of you to find your own ways to serve humankind. Balance your own passion with your purpose so that you will be able to have a meaningful progress in your life. Thank you.